I'd like to thank at the outset Dr. Pradeep Sharma to include uveitis in the Pediatric Ophthalmology National Symposium, and also to give me the opportunity to share my experience of pediatric uveitis, a holistic approach. No financial disclosure. This is an 8-year-old child, joint pain and swelling in the right knee, no pain and redness of the eyes, referred by a rheumatologist. But when you look in the eye, we found that there is a posterior synechia and complicated cataract already has occurred. In fact, it was a juvenile idiopathic arthritis-associated uveitis. Juvenile idiopathic arthritis-associated uveitis is the most common childhood rheumatic disease, most prevalent systemic disorder in the children with uveitis. The pauci-articular type is the most common, knee joint commonly involved. Chronologically, if uveitis precedes arthritis, there is an aggressive course. The most common extraarticular feature of the GIA is uveitis. We should always remember it develops in approximately 11 to 13% of all GIA subtypes. In patients with oligoarthritis, there is less than 4 joints involved. The risk incidence increases to 41%. Why is this important? Because it can have chronic anterior uveitis, band-shaped keratopathy, complicated cataract, glaucoma, vitritis, cystoid macular edema, disc edema, hypotonic maculopathy, and even phthisis bulbi. It's a serious vision-threatening disorder resulting in 15% of the blindness of affected eyes despite intensive treatment. The peak incidence of GIO is the preschool stage, and the girls are 3 times more often affected than the boys. In most cases, the uveitis is non-granulomatous, but granulomatous uveitis have also been reported occasionally. 58% of the eyes had a final vision of 660 or worse, compared to the 3% of the group which has grasp clearance cells. Development of glaucoma, cataract requiring surgery, presence of cystoid macular edema, recurrent episodes of ocular hypotony that result in the blindness due to the phthisis bulbi. Hypotony is more common in the GIA, is very dangerous. Any other form of uveitis due to chronic inflammation and damage to the secretory ciliar epithelium. If we have got a male gender is affected, the prognosis is poor. The first treatment option is the topical steroids with or without short-acting mydriatic agents. 97% of the uveitis specialists are of opinion that there is an indication of systemic immunosuppressive medication, particularly methotrexate, which is the first choice. Methotrexate is a very efficient and tolerable drug in children with GIA. 73% of the pediatric uveitis specialists now favor biologics. This in as example, adalimumab or infliximab, most commonly adalimumab. And this is a Sycamore trial. One of the Indian who did that, he spearheaded that trial is that Professor A.V. Ramanan. Adalimumab plus methotrexate was found to be a very good option in juvenile idiopathic arthritis-associated uveitis. The surgical procedure is required. Most common is the EDTA chelations. Lensectomy, vitrectomy is required. Nowadays, with the phaco and IOL with special precautions can be done if the patient is on preoperative topical systemic steroids. Penetrating keratoplasty might be required in some cases, and in glaucoma, trabeculectomy is required. So here is required uveitis and rheumatologist collaboration. This is another case, 16-year-old child, recurrent attack of pain, redness, and blurring of vision, had history of recurrent fever with systemic hypertension. Renal biopsy showed acute interstitial nephritis. Urinary beta-2 microglobin was raised. And here is that histopathology pictures of the renal biopsy showed chronic inflammation. And the eye showed non-granulomatous anterior uveitis. Here, management required immunomodulatory agent, oral mycophenolate and prednisolone with topical steroids. So this is a tubulointerstitial nephritis associated uveitis we call TINU. The uveitis specialist and pediatric refractory jointly manage the patient. Next is the Bloch syndrome. Here the dermatologist is involved. And here you can see the arthritis involving interphalangeal joints and maculopapular dermal rash. And the patient presents with the granulomatous anterior uveitis with Busch's nodule, but it can be treated well with biologics agents After treatment with the adalimumab, there is a complete regression of Viscous nodules. Uveitis specialist here worked with the dermatologist. Intermediate uveitis in children is a different ballgame. Here, the severe disease with the poor prognosis, band-shaped keratopathy, as you see over here, mimics GI-associated uveitis. And you can see the snowball exudates, snow banking, and there is a higher risk of development of complications, particularly secondary glaucoma, vitreous hemorrhage occasionally, and cataract. Here, need to rule out systemic disease, especially TB and sarcoid. Uveitis specialists here work with the internist. An infectious cause of the uveitis is responsible to 6 to 33% of all cases of pediatric uveitis, particularly in India. Here is the example is the Toxoplasma, Toxocara, TB, and Rubella is the common infectious agents. When you see a congenital toxoplasmic retinochoroiditis, it is a very characteristic picture as a punched out lesion. Nothing much you can do in these cases. But in case of acquired toxoplasmosis, where you get retinochoroiditis with localized vitreous haze, appropriate antibiotic treatment can salvage the vision. Toxocara can present as the posterior pole granuloma, peripheral granuloma, chronic endophthalmitis-like picture. And here you can see the posterior pole granuloma, and here is the peripheral granuloma. TB granuloma can occur in Indian subcontinent, and here you can see the before treatment and after anti-treatment with ATT, there is a marked resolution of inflammation with improvement of the vision. Rubella retinopathy is the characteristic sign of salt and pepper fundus. Nothing much you can do in this because it's an RNA virus. No specific treatment is available. Uveitis specialists here need to work with an infectious disease specialist. Last but not the least is the 8-year-old girl, no pain, redness, white hypopyon, not responding to topical steroid. And this is often an ominous sign of retinoblastoma. And anterior chamber tap in such cases, if it is done, showed basophilic cohesive cells with hyperchromatic nuclei and scanty cytoplasm. Here, uveitis specialists need to work with an oncologist. So, what pediatric ophthalmologists request to do that one, a teamwork. That teamwork can be with a rheumatologist, nephrologist, dermatologist, infectious disease specialist, and oncologist. If you can do it, it can be a very fulfilling, and this is one of the drawing made by one of my patients with GIA, and he wishes me Happy New Year. And it will be so gratifying if you can manage such young children. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Biswas. So that is what